With 43.6 billion Bible chapters read, 7.5 billion audio chapters played, and 1.4 billion Bible plan days completed, the YouVersion Bible app saw its highest levels of global Bible engagement in app history. This is amazing. 2020 has brought on some incredible, historic Bible engagement, and I think there's a lot to learn here as church leaders. Do not fear was 2020's most searched Bible terms. This is according to the YouVersion Bible app and BibleGateway. We're going to dive into all of that and the implications for those of us who lead churches and lead ministries and lead people. The fact that Bible engagement is up tremendously year over year with all that's happening in 2020, all the uncertainty, people are turning to faith. They're turning back to the scriptures. This is not unsurprising, but there are implications for us as we plan 2021. So stick around for that. We're going to dive all into the implications for 2021, and we're going to draw out some lessons for pastors and church leaders. So stick around for that. My name's Lane. This is Preaching Donkey. It's so awesome to have you joining me today. If you're new to Preaching Donkey, typically we talk about sermon prep, sermon delivery, and church leadership. And occasionally we talk about lessons for pastors like today. If you're interested in going deeper with sermon prep and sermon delivery, I have something just for you. If you go to preachingdonkey.com/21days, you can pick up my free 21-day guide to creating killer sermons. It's a 3-week, 3-step process that will walk you through a simplified process for writing and delivering a life-changing message. If you're new to preaching, it's perfect for you. If you've been preaching for a while, you're going to find something in there that might help you as you're kind of tweaking your systems. So go to preachingdonkey.com/21days, and I think there's something in there for everyone. All right, so YouVersion Bible app is one of my favorite apps. I like YouVersion Bible app and BibleGateway. I use them for different purposes. YouVersion Bible app I use on my phone. BibleGateway I tend to use when I'm on my laptop or in my office and studying like that. They're both amazing apps, and they both have some amazing data of what happened in 2020 on both of these apps. Christianity Today reports 2020's most read Bible verse, do not fear. During the hardest moments of a particularly difficult year, Bible searches soared online, and a record number of people turned to Scripture for passages addressing fear, healing, and justice. Think about this. Fear, healing, and justice. Just knowing that in 2020, the top 3 search terms were fear being number 1, healing, and justice. That is really good to know. It's probably not surprising if you've been paying attention, but to have this data and to be able to know what is on people's minds and what has been on people's minds in 2020, they're afraid, they want healing of this crazy disease that's going around, and they want to know what the Bible has to say about justice, because those 3 ideas, those 3 topics, those 3 concerns have come to the forefront of the public consciousness like no other year in 2020. The popular YouVersion Bible app saw searches increase by 80% in 2020, totaling nearly 600 million worldwide. I want to show you real quick. We'll come back to Christianity Today, but I want to go over to the YouVersion press release. YouVersion names Verse of the Year and releases 2020's Bible app search trends. The most popular Bible verses and top search terms tell a story of faith in 2020. Oklahoma City, December 2nd, 2020. Oklahoma City, that's my hometown. Shout out to OKC. In a year marked by uncertainty and turmoil, more people than ever turned to the Bible for hope. In fact, the YouVersion community completed nearly 600 million searches within the app in 2020, an 80% increase over the previous year, with record-breaking levels of Bible engagement in the app this year. The 2020 YouVersion verse of the year is Isaiah 41:10. Do not be afraid. Some translations say, do not fear, for I am with you. Don't be discouraged, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will hold you up with my victorious right hand. This has been a challenging year with many people facing devastating loss, loneliness, and fear, said YouVersion founder Bobby Grinwald. While 2020 is a year so many say they'd like to forget, we see it as a year to remember how God used the Bible app to help so many people who are searching for answers. Through every hardship, people continue to seek God and turn to the Bible for strength, peace, and hope. Awesome. Early in the year, people most frequently searched the Bible app for phrases like New Year, Bible in a Year, faith, and fasting. In mid-March, as the pandemic accelerated, the number one search term was fear. Soon after, the fastest growing search terms week over week were words like peace, hope, and faith as the pandemic continued. So it's interesting. Fear soared as people searched, about fear. And then what we saw was peace, hope, and faith beginning to increase as well. This is amazing. I mean, they can track these trends to see that people were searching based on fear, and then they were searching for peace, hope, and faith. It's almost like they were finding peace, hope, and faith in the midst of their fear. It's kind of how it's all supposed to work. It's pretty amazing. 2020's trending Bible app searches also include justice, which rose to the top in late May and again in late August and late September. The search terms healing and peace and love were consistently among the top results throughout the year. To see a progression of the top words and phrases people searched with the Bible app throughout the year, view the 2020 YouVersion Bible app search trends, and I'll link to that in the description below. These top search terms really show what's been going on, what's been weighing on the hearts and minds of people around the world at key points throughout the year, said Grunwald. They reveal how people are seeking God as they wrestle with difficult circumstances they faced in 2020, and that's something we can celebrate. As some churches temporarily paused physical services to stop the spread of COVID-19, many people used digital tools to connect with God, including the Bible app. With 43.6 billion Bible chapters read, 7.5 billion audio chapters played, and 1.4 billion Bible plan days completed, the YouVersion Bible app saw its highest levels of global Bible engagement in app history. This is amazing. 2020 has brought on some incredible, historic Bible engagement, and I think there's a lot to learn here as church leaders. YouVersion also experienced record-breaking growth for the Bible app for kids, which was developed in partnership with One Hope. In 2020 alone, the app was installed on more than 22 million unique devices, totaling more than 60 million devices worldwide. That's pretty amazing. Christianity Today goes on to talk a little bit about BibleGateway. The BibleGateway site reported similar search trends. Pandemic-related verses about God taking away sickness got around 90 times more queries than average when U.S. pandemic lockdowns began in March. The site also saw queries related to racism, justice, and oppression spike to 100 times the average in the week following George Floyd's death, and verses related to government authority up at least 50 times the average on election day. So people are searching for things like justice because of all that's going on in 2020, things like healing because of what's going on in 2020, things like fear, and things like authority. While John 3:16 and Jeremiah 29:11 topped the BibleGateway rankings for the top verses, as they have in most years, 2 Chronicles 7:4 jumped to the number 3 spot, which is, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves, pray, seek my face, I will hear from heaven, forgive their sins, and heal their land. BibleGateway searches for fear and fear not grew this year over last, with fear ranking 6th on the most popular English keyword searches. This is amazing stuff. You can read more. I'm going to link all this in the description below. There's a couple things that we can learn. Number one, it's amazing that it never fails that the scriptures can provide hope and healing and comfort to people. They just can. The word of God is living and active. It's sharper than any double-edged sword. And when we read it, it reads us. And often that can be the case. And I think people know that, and people of faith know that intuitively, and they go to the scriptures when things get hard. And I think it's really helpful to know that going into 2021, that people are hungry, they're searching, they're looking for hope, they're looking for answers. And so when you think about your sermon content for 2021, does it have the substance that people are going to want? Does it have are you going to be scratching people where they're itching in 2021? And I think knowing that people are searching for things like hope and faith and how to overcome fear and justice and healing, this should inform a lot of what we teach in 2021, a lot of what we emphasize and a lot of the initiatives that we take on. I think we can learn a whole lot from this. So number one, I think it's amazing that people are going to scriptures. Number two, I think this should inform what we do in terms of our planning in 2021. And then number three, I think we just need to celebrate the fact that we have these amazing tools like YouVersion, like BibleGateway, where Bible engagement is not only trackable, but I would argue that people are more inclined these days to the ease of use of just picking up your phone, and your phone literally reminds you of the Bible plan that you're in the middle of, and you just click and read it. The ease of that is such a huge, huge blessing, and we're very fortunate to have the guys over at Life Church and the people over at Gateway and all the people who make this stuff happen. I just think it's pretty cool, and I think that we live in a time where we can track these kind of things and we can see what people are going for in their time of desperation and in their time of need. And I think we need to be ready to minister to people right where they are in 2021. Those are my thoughts. I would love to hear from you in the comments. What are your thoughts on these findings from these two Bible apps? And what are you going to do, if anything, differently in 2021 to meet people where they are? I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Be sure to like this video if you haven't yet, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet subscribed to Preaching Donkey. I think you're going to find some really helpful content for sermon prep, sermon delivery, and church leadership here. And until next time, I'll see you in the next video.